Hello to everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our pitch day. That's a recurrent pitch day we have every week, streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So today we have some setbacks with a couple of funders, but we still have four. I hope the other two can come. Otherwise, we bring them to the next one next Tuesday because we are live from any Tuesday from 5 to 7 o'clock UK time. So before starting, I want to give you an update of equity match. In equity match, we are working on helping funders not only to raise funds but also to get knowledge on the venture capital ecosystem itself. How not only to raise money, how to actually approach the venture capitalists, how approach angels, and also how to understand how to start from an idea and create a very consistent business model. So today we have, as I said, we had six founders. Probably we are going to have four, but they are absolutely great, and they will keep us very busy to understand the startup they are creating, the idea they are bringing forward, and the business they are working on. So before the first founder that I would like to introduce today is Akin. Akin, I will leave you to introduce yourself, and after you can start talking about Winsuzu Pay. Thank you, Akin.
Thank you very much, Max. Hi, everyone. My name is Akin Jaja, a founder and leader at Pay. And I'll just share my screen now, and we can commence the presentation. So, Pay is a software as a service platform giving access to a $300 billion opportunity, which literally connects thousands of POS service points efficiently across sub-Saharan Africa to be the drivers of health and wellness across sub-Saharan Africa. So today, we ask ourselves, what's the current situation? Healthcare is a basic human right, as we all know, and has become a big part of global economies. In North America today, North Americans spend over 3.6 trillion in healthcare expenses in 2019, which represented about 18% of that GDP. Despite spending so much money, life expectancy is shrinking globally and health is deteriorating. In today's world, enterprise health tech startups raised over $20.2 billion in funding during 2021, which is post the pandemic. This is post the pandemic, and 67% of the increase over the previous year as industry matures and late stage deals exit, right? The sector's market size is expected to reach 1.3 trillion by 2025 as digitalization continues to expand across multiple facets of the health industry. And this was from the annual enterprise health tech report in 2021. So we ask ourselves today, why now? What are the reasons why now in today's Nigeria and in sub-Saharan Africa today? And so our reality today is that 2% of sub-Saharan population only has a health cover. 50% of the population is the youngest globally and the fastest growing globally. That's between the ages of 18 and 38. Those who actually seek to access healthcare is usually via out-of-pocket expenses, basically. So 80% of the population really and truly, it's a challenge for them, right, to be able to have some level of a health cover. From a report that came out in 2021, they took a sample size of about 1,300 Nigerian doctors, and they were really researching on what led to the high level of medical errors or misdiagnosis, and it was noted that for 2% of them felt that they were overworked, and 59% felt that due to tiredness. Now you need to understand that what's really happening in today's reality is that there are 4 doctors to 10,000 patients in Nigeria today, right? Compared to the West, which is 28 doctors to the United Kingdom and 26 doctors to 10,000 patients in United States. 10 in South Africa, 10 doctors to 10,000 in South Africa, and just close by 5 doctors to 10,000 patients in Ghana. So this definitely greatly impacts the misdiagnosis and misinterpretation of tests being carried out. So this is one of the needs which we are looking to fulfill, and the vacuums which we're looking to fulfill. It's also interesting to know that 80% of transactions today in sub-Saharan Africa are offline. So we're very much cash-led or cash-driven. But however, 75% of transactions today in sub-Saharan Africa are done via POS terminal points, and it was definitely accelerated via POS terminal points due to the pandemic. So today, our solution, what it does today is, and we're very much in private beta today, we created an API which we call Corduroy. So Corduroy literally just powers end-to-end points across tens of thousands of POS service points across sub-Saharan Africa. And it could be used via either a smartphone, a desktop till or inventory management dashboard, either for the service providers or via agents who own the POS terminals. So what it does is that it enables us to scale effectively and efficiently. At the end of the day, it's also very low. It leads to low transaction costs for predominantly those in sub-Saharan Africa who really and truly cannot access health coverage today. So the systems work immediately upon deployment. It's a no-brainer. You can literally access our solution either via USSD. USSD is just basically using your smartphone or your feature phone to text a code, and then the code automatically then responds to you via an SMS. And with that, you can then pick a pay-as-you-go cover, and which then charges you, and then you can walk into any of the service providers which we are partners with. So the proposition really is that it's very simplistic, right? It's very simple because of the times that we're in, right? You need to understand that 80% of the drivers of the economy today in Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa are in the informal sector, right? So we devise several means to which people can access healthcare awareness, either via a voucher, an SMS, or a barcode, or if they choose to use our platform, either via a web app or the mobile applications, they'll be given an e-wallet, right? So this is definitely paired with the POS terminal service points, which are like mobile like mobile banks, right? Via human agents. So Winston encrypts that entire data. It encrypts that entire data 24/7, just to be able to protect sensitive information and data across the board. Today's market opportunity, to interesting to know that, is a $200 billion opportunity, and by 2035, about 10 years time, it's reach $1 trillion. The SA and the serviceable attainable market is about $30 billion year on year. The TAM, the total addressable market, is about 80% of the informal sector, which is about 500 million people across sub-Saharan Africa. And the serviceable obtainable market is about $5 billion. So our status today is we are currently in beta. We are launching the web app and our mobile applications on or before the end of this month to go live. We have about 5,000 users in private beta currently. We've done a revenue of over 115,000 with a net of just about over 30,000. We have a waiting list of about 150,000 retail customers and just over 50,000 B2B customers. We're currently part of the Google for Startups Sustainable Development Goals cohort, and I was literally also shortlisted to join the Google for Leadership cohort program, which is ongoing currently. This is our amazing team. That's me, Akinjeje. I'm an ex-AIG from Ireland. My background is in biochemistry and basic medical sciences. I was successful also to join an executive graduate school program at Harvard Business School, which was with focus with entrepreneurship and business in emerging markets. And then we have Dr. Wale Adeboje and Dr. Wale Elusade. I believe that's...
Akin.
Yes.
I think we can stop here because we have been over 5 minutes. Let me ask. I have a couple of questions for you. The first one is, what brings you to find this solution? I mean, what is the major problem? We are covering enough, but what is exactly the big problem you are solving today?
So the big problem we're solving today is the low entry of people who are able to access health covers. So if you find in hospitals today, right, people who are ill. So let's take for instance malaria. Malaria is a tropical disease, right? There's a tropical illness. Before patients get to the hospital, right, they're paying about 1,500 naira to reach the hospitals, right? Now, not many people can afford 1,500 naira to reach the hospital. Now, when they get to the hospital, the doctors automatically ask them to run a test to be sure that they actually have malaria, whatever the symptoms are. Now, many people cannot afford to pay for a test. So this is where the barrier to entry is very, very high for many people. So what we're coming in is not only offering people a safety net to a certain degree, we're also offering people to say, look, anytime, any day, right? Medicash is at your beck and call via Winston, at your beck and call to be able to at least take off as much burden as we can possibly do for every individual, for every customer. But of course, you have to be able to go through. You have to be able to understand who you are as a person, the right KYC, and that's why we've partnered with a host of service providers nationally, who are ready to come on board with us and are open to including our services with their suite of plans.
But the second, and after, if our audience has any question, we are more than willing to answer at the end of the pitch there, which means in 45 minutes roughly. Facilitating payments. Yes. How exactly fix this problem?
Okay, so let me tell you how it works. So right now, what we're doing is we're using a three-pronged approach. One, you can access our solution, Medicash, via a pay-as-you-go solution, where basically if you have as low as actually £1 or $1, right? We can come in as an emergency or a safety net to be able to cover, to be able to subsidize whatever treatment that you're ready to undergo. That's one. Then we have another solution which is called as a MediCredit solution. So basically what it says is, if we know you as a customer, right, either via an existing health insurance plan or either via your employer, right, we're able to afford you up to 30% of your medical cover. The third one is basically a voucher system where if I don't really want to be on the platform, I don't really want to put my KYC, I don't really want to put all my details on the platform, but I want to be able to buy some level of a health cover, say for my parents back home in Nigeria, or for my employees, or for my staff. You can literally pay for that. Now, the payment infrastructure at the back end is tied to the banks and is tied to the card issuing partners. Now, what we've done is that we've been able to partner with a host of credible payment processing partners, right, locally, that are very recognized with the central bank and are very recognized with our settlement banking partners. So it affords everybody, either who want to pay via a voucher, or who want to pay via their card, or who want to pay via a bank transfer, to be able to access the solution.
Thank you so much, Akin. I hope we can have some more questions at the end of the pitch day. So we have some Q&A. And thank you so much. And please stay with us because
no
we
I am.
have a long way to go. Thank
No
you so
problem.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Akin. Demi, thank you so much, Demi, for coming. And I'm a big fan of education. I love kids. So let's start. Please introduce yourself and excuse.
Awesome. Hi, Max. Good to be here. Hi, everyone. I'm Oluwadamlola Shuyombo, and like Max said, you can call me Dami. I'm a award-winning senior product designer, and I'm also a children's STEM educator. Yes, I've been into tech for 8 years now, and it's my goal to scale technology education for the younger generation, which is where Skooks came into the picture. So now there is a large gap between what students are learning in school and what the job market is looking for, which is a similar experience that I went through even after studying computer science as my BSc. There was a huge gap between what we were taught in school and what I had to face in the job market. I had to go for extra internship opportunities in order to fit into that job requirement. Now, if this is the case, it means that over 160 million kids might not fit into the job ecosystem in the next 10 years. So what are we doing about that at Skooks? What we're doing is, one, our digital skill courses. So we have an e-learning platform with currently over 40 plus courses, technology courses now for kids aged 5 to 18 years who want to learn these skills. Secondly, we also provide them with mentorship, the older ones, teenagers, with mentorship with several tech professionals across Nigeria and Africa at large. And the newest product offering we've added is our buy now, pay later ICT infrastructure setup. So in the course of 1 year since we've been running Skooks and like pushing out our courses to schools, we discovered that a lot of them have this challenge of ICT infrastructure. Now, they don't have laptops or internet or tablets to be able to learn these technology skills that they need. Now, what we're doing is to provide them with a flexible means of setting up these infrastructures and then paying the cost of the infrastructures over a 3 to 5 year period. Now we're targeting students aged 5 to 18, like I mentioned, and we go to them through their schools, their individual parents, and also through corporate organization partnerships. In Nigeria alone, there are over 80,000 plus private schools. So it shows that we're yet to even scratch the surface if we're talking about reaching Nigeria and then scaling up to other countries in Africa. In terms of the market size, it's quite huge. And if we're looking at just 1% of the African edtech market, it's a $22 million market currently. Now, how do we make money at Skooks? Basically, we work as a subscription-based ecosystem whereby our lowest plan is at $16 per month. That's 8,000 Naira, which is like pretty much affordable for any school that wants to add this as an add-on, right? And also we have a plan for the platinum, which is at $50 per month. And then for schools, depending on the number of students you have, we can also like talk with the sales team, and then we come up with a flexible payment method for you, or a flexible plan for your student to pay per term. Now, here are some of our interesting activities we've been having with the schools and then the centers, some of our trainings that have been happening. Since our launch in October 2021, we are revenue generating through our e-learning platform. Currently, we have made over $2,500 in revenue with our 40 courses. We have 2,000 plus students actively learning on the platform with 8 learning centers across Lagos, Nigeria, and 5 schools. Here are some of our schools and partners we've accumulated over this period of time as well. We understand that the competitive landscape is quite huge, right? There are other companies trying to solve online education for children and like for individuals as well. So we're different because we offer pre-recorded courses by local tech professionals in the local space, and we are solely built for kids. And all of our courses and tech skills are taught by tech professionals, and we offer both online and then in-person learning. So we offer blended learning to some of our schools once they request for it. We are building a community. We organize competitions, hackathons, and provide like mentorship and internship opportunities, like I mentioned. And with the last tip of the iceberg, which we just added, which is the buy now, pay later infrastructure setup model, like that has given us a huge competitive advantage. Here's what the team looks like. We're a team of 9 with over 45 years plus combined experience in technology, education, software development, business, marketing, and a whole lot of skills. And in terms of our growth plan, the numbers are quite interesting. And our goal is to reach 5,000 schools in 2024. And the numbers are pretty exciting, and this would leave our investors getting returns. We're looking at enabling a lot of more effective distribution margins to be able to reach more schools on a large scale. Now we're looking to raise $500,000 in our current round, which will be able to increase our runway by 10 months. We use that to ramp up our technology, reach 50,000 users, have about 500 courses on the platform, build our API-based integration model to be able to integrate with other educational platforms out there. And lastly, for our STEM labs that I mentioned, yes, you can always visit the site at www.scooks.com to have an insight of what our courses look like. And our goal, like I mentioned, is to scale technology education for millions of students across Nigeria and Africa at large. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Demi. We do not have any questions from the audience, so let me ask you a couple. The first one is, how do you approach schools? What's your plan to market? And do they see yourself as an add-on or as a competitor?
That's a very interesting question, Max. So basically, how do we get schools? So what we do is we organize community events, right, that houses a lot of school decision makers in one place, right? So having all of the principals and school owners in one place, like a conference, and then we speak to them about schools. And another thing we do is school activation programs, where we go to the school and do like a practical demonstration of what our platform is like, right? So now, the schools do not see us as a competition. So what a lot of schools, they reach out to us because they see that their teachers are having like difficulty getting resources, especially in this area, which is technology skills, right? So we provide those resources and we provide the trainings that their teachers need in order to pass our resources across to their students. So yes, a lot of schools either use us as an extracurricular activity like a club, or they add it to like their normal day-to-day ICT or computer studies subjects that they run on a day-to-day basis. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of infrastructure, I mean, for them, as you are fully online, so it requires internet and laptops or whatever it is. They need some terminal to use to using your service. What's the state today? And are you going tomorrow with your partners to provide infrastructure to them, to the students to use your service?
Okay, good one. So currently today, so most of the schools we have on board have either tablets or laptops. The individual students have that, right? So it's been a bit easy for them to use the platform. However, there's still been the complaint of internet and like data subscription, and we're already working on that. We've partnered with a company which is already helping us work on zero rate data, so they can actually leverage or use or watch our courses without internet, right? Once they subscribe to Scooks, they can actually watch the courses on our platform without internet. And yes, that leads us to also our infrastructure setup that we're working on. Because of these challenges that we've gotten the feedback from our schools, that pushed us into partnering with other companies that can help them set up these infrastructures, and then they have that flexibility of paying over a long period of time.
Thank you, Demi. If we have some more questions at the end, we bring them. Meanwhile, let me thank you so much, and I really wish you all the best, and please stay with us.
No problem. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Richard, how are you?
Max, how are you?
All good. All good. Thank you for coming, Richard.
you.
Please, if you want to introduce yourself to our audience, and after we go through your
Perfect.
stuff.
So I'm Richard McBrayer. I'm commercial director and founder of Drawtime Limited. And I'm happy to show a few screens here, Max. Can we go?
Yes, absolutely. Go.
So Drawtime exists to manage donation campaigns for charities globally. So our charity clients can manage single donations, one-off payments, and regular donations, obviously from supporters using a wide variety of payment methodologies. But we're actually quite focused in the open banking area. So look, a little bit about us. I have over 13 years experience in business-to-business charity software companies. My co-founder and CTO is a guy called James Mears, and he's really at the top of his game because he's actually architected 2 platforms that actually went on to achieve unicorn status. Our CEO is Ivo Vestera, and he runs our P&L. He's our eyes in the skies, if you want to say. And he's in charge of all investor relations, and he's top-level investment specialist. So bank-to-bank technology is a payment methodology that's in its relative infancy, in the UK certainly. However, it's going to really revolutionize online and offline payment markets. To date, over 80% of the UK population has a mobile banking app on their phone. To make a payment is frictionless using open banking. And in a nutshell, Drawtime allows charities to really use open banking effectively. It makes it easy for their supporters to donate, and it reduces substantially the cost of making those donations. So it's a win-win for everybody, except of course the card companies and direct debit bureaus of this world. And our mission is we're focused on saving the global charity market $6 billion per annum. And this is in fees that are currently paid to payment processors, card processors, credit cards, direct debit across the globe. And charities can use our payment, our platform as a service, and they can leverage our exclusive partnership with the leader in open banking, a company called EcoSpend. So we're the exclusive charity partner to EcoSpend, and they processed over 8 billion in payments in the last 12 months. They're rolling out via these countries that I've actually mentioned here, but most notably the US. And what we're looking at really is a global market of individual giving, which is over 300 billion US dollars every year. And it represents 67% of total global giving. Basically the Drawtime platform manages all single and recurring donations from open banking. So in the UK alone, there's 20 billion done a year in direct debit payments. Direct debit payments is was originally a paper-based system, and it was created in 1964, cost between 3 to 4% to actually process payments using direct debits. And our service costs a maximum of 1%. So in the UK alone, we can save charities up to 400 million per annum. And the market itself is structurally made up of charities and agencies, and charities are really use agencies to do their donor fundraising. So our sales strategy is just to target the agencies that between them have the global charity market sewn up. So a little bit about our platform. So charities basically give us their charity number and their bank account details, and they can take open payments. We get them set up in minutes. They have their own back office where they or their agencies can manage all donation campaigns. Their donors then can make instant account-to-account donation payments. So a little bit of how it works in practice. This is an example of, a QR code. If it would allow me, which it's not. But bank-to-bank payments mean there's no cards, no hardware, no chargebacks. Supporters simply pay via the charity website using their own bank accounts. They can pay by link. They can bypass all manual input. It's a seamless checkout process, and it's a perfect experience for supporters. So EcoSpend have tried and failed to make open bank payments in the charity sector work. They were expecting charities to be more tech savvy, to more operational and technical bandwidth than they actually do. So our partnership with EcoSpend allows speedy onboarding, and it's designed to take the pain out of integrations for any charity clients. And our donor management services allow charities to manage those donors and take them on a supporter journey. So we're live with our first client. We've identified over 2,000 charity agencies, between them the global charity market sewn up. And our focus is on business-to-business sales to agencies, not the charities themselves, because those agencies are the ones that have the relationship already with the charities. How does it look in financial projections? So we've got a substantial EBITDA. We've got clients that we're negotiating the final contracts with, and we're just looking for £150,000. It's run under SAAS, which is a highly tax incentive for UK taxpayers, and our pre-money valuation is 1.5 million. The platform's completely developed. We're live, as I said. So we've been bootstrapping this company for 24 months, and the founders have put their money and their careers on hold to make this a reality, and we're very focused on that mission of saving charities substantial amounts of money. So thank you very much, and that's that, Max.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much. I do my charity, so I'm very keen on this. But let me ask you. You are trying to facilitate between the two sides, make sure that maybe payment are faster and donors can donate more. So, in your opinion, this 1 year you're running more or less in terms of running your business, and can you see that actually charities are getting more funding through your system?
Well, I think there's a quote recently that 67% of charity leaders feel that financial security is their main issue going forward with inflation, etc. So this is definitely an area that is a hot topic for charity leaders globally, because this is the feedback that we're getting from the agencies themselves. And the charities directly, that they're paying too much money for payment processing, and if we saved 1 or 2% for a global charity in individual giving terms, that's an awful lot of money, Max. So definitely, we feel that we're on a good course with charities, and we can target them quite effectively.
I mean, can a charity open a funding on your platform? If I'm a charity, I want to raise more money, for example, for this problem, or because I want to go another one. Can I come straight forward to your platform, actually running my campaign on your platform?
Correct. So basically, because we are linked in with EcoSpend, who processed 8 billion in payments already, not in the charity sector, all we require on a KYC level is the charity details, in the UK specifically. So they're on the charity register, and their bank account details, which obviously link up with what they are on the charity register with. And obviously the bank has done the due diligence already on the charity, which is highly, involves passports, etc. It's not an easy thing to actually, there's a requirement under financial processing by the banks. So the banks have done the due diligence, basically, Max.
You don't need to carry your due diligence. I'm asking, as there have been quite few scams when it comes to charity.
Absolutely, there's a lot of scams, but the bank, this is money that goes into the bank. The bank has created their due diligence process. What we're solving as a problem is the fact that charities they just don't have the skills to integrate this type of payment technology directly into their own CRM systems. So what we're doing is we're providing a step between the CRM and the payment that just makes it easy for them. So you can imagine, Max, you're stopped on the street by one of those chuggers that you always see in London and other countries, or other cities, I should say. So you can just pay. They sign you up to Red Cross. They just pay by QR code, for example. So just one click on the phone takes you into your own banking app on your own phone, and you do a biometrics, and then the payment is made. So it's completely frictionless, and it is a fraction of the existing payment costs to do that. And it's more, it's easier for the supporter, actually. So you can pay by link, you can pay from post, QR code, everything. And as I said in the presentation, there's 20 billion processed every year by direct debit, which is 3 to 4% for regular payments. It's a huge margin, and whenever you think about it in this day and age. So the open banking will revolutionize how we make payments, we believe.
Indeed. Thank you, Richard. Please stay with us. We talk again at the end.
Thank you, guys.
There is one, before introducing Marco, there is one question which I'm taking after Marco, because I think today we finished with 4 funders. And for anyone who wants to make a question, please just write from wherever you are, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, any social we are streaming to, and I take the questions and bring them to the founders. Thanks, Richard. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Marco, we can't speak in Italian, so we need to speak in English. Thanks for coming, Marco. So please give an introduction to yourself, and after straight to ITERPRO. You're muted. Here we are.
Here we go. Okay, now it's working. So I was saying thanks for the opportunity, and it's better to speak in English than Italian for sure. So I'm Marco Savino, CEO and founder of ITERPRO, and for the last 13 years I've been working in the football industry as part of a coaching staff and as a sports scientist. During my time that I was on the pitch, I used to say that I was taking care about the main financial asset of the club, the players. So I was training them, collecting data, and I was running all the off-the-pitch analysis. However, in football, everyone has a vertical know-how in his own area of expertise. So often people struggle to leverage information coming from other departments. And this often creates a lack of communication. So we end up making critical decisions based on limited information and guesswork. That all those issues, they can create, poor management, overtraining, injuries, waste of talent, and financial losses. So taking inspiration from the gaming industry, we decided to create ITERPRO Football Intelligence, and only one data management platform that connects people, centralized data from every football club department, and turns them into actionable insight in order to take better decisions faster about their main asset, the players. And we do this from the pitch to the board. So we cover 360 degrees the entire player management process on technical, medical, sports science, scouting, and administration and finance department. So we basically help them to move from a classic capital management to an asset management, creating a framework to streamline communication and workflow, reduce the injury risk, of course, identify talent, and boosting the return on investment. However, we didn't validate our solution just in football, but we're already working with other sports, especially top team in volleyball, basketball, or rugby, and this is the evidence that the system can be applied to any sports out there. In terms of business model, we are a SaaS business. We ask for at least 1 year minimum commitment, and the pricing is based on 3 main variables, which are modules, so features, numbers of users, and numbers of teams that the club wants to cover, because every club has multiple teams, under 21, under 19, first team, and so on. So this model gives us the flexibility really to penetrate the market at both levels, the elite level, sub-elite, and semi-pro and amateur, because it's a very democratic technology and pricing. So depending on the size and the resource of the club, we can make a tailor-made solution. So our target customer are mainly football clubs, association, leagues, academy and school, football agents, and of course, other sports clubs and association, but also individual sports professionals such as sports scientists, physicians, doctors, scouts, and so on. In terms of competitor, now you're asking yourself, what's the difference between you and what is on the market already? And we are the only and first company in the world able to manage the contract and track the bonus completely automatically. So this creates automated alerts, and it defines us as one-stop shop platform. And last but not least at all, we are so far the most user-friendly solution on the market. In terms of organization, at the moment we are 11 full-time and 6 part-time, but it's definitely worth to mention that in our team, our brand ambassador is a VIP, football legend, actually current AC Milan vice president, Franco Baresi. So in terms of the journey, we started the company in May 2018, and we launched the product in January 2019 when we raised the first 700K as a seed. Then we reached a few milestones, such as closing long-term contract with clubs such as AC Milan. The year after came the first federation, and the last year we validated the concept also with the Italian Rugby Federation as well. So in terms of stage of development, our client base at the moment is diversified in 14 different countries, especially in Europe, but we want to scale, of course, globally. We have 29 clients, 60 teams, 400 users, and 2,800 players. And as you can see, the portfolio is very diversified because, as I said before, we work both on the elite level and the sub-elite level as well. However, in terms of growth opportunity, ITERPRO, being this big octopus touching every single aspect of the player performance, it's a kind of physiological Troyos to create upselling opportunities such as consulting or third-party technology. However, that's not all, because we are planning to launch 3 new disruptive models. The freemium one is going to be the model that is going to help us to scale, to reach the full scalability and achieve a critical mass of user. Then there's the agent app, which is basically ITERPRO as it is right now, but just rebranded and provided to the agents, which is basically a parallel market of the same size of football itself. And then the third one, which is the most ambitious one on the long term, and it's about certifying the player data and give them the opportunity to monetize their own data. So thanks a lot for your time and for your attention. Any question, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Marco. I will take the first one from the audience, Vida. Marco, great product. What technology do you use to monitor and measure players' injuries? Are you targeting individual player or team managers as clients?
So that's a good question, because as a system, we are kind of an HubSpot, an empty shell where we plug in already existing technology. So depending on the level of technology the club has, if they use GPS, if they use camera system, medical devices, or ERP, EMR, we can just attach them through an API. So it really depends on the client side. And this is working both at team level and the player level, because the final user is the player, because he received the feedback about their own performances.
Let me ask you, your system is open to any kind of football team or basketball, whoever they are. But who benefits the most? The big one, Inter Milan, Milan, Juventus, for example, because you're in Italy, but you're not only in Italy, or the small one?
Yeah, that's a good question, Max. Thank you. And I would say that is about 50-50. We started at the top level to validate our solution. And of course, when we're talking about big clubs, we're talking also about big deals, especially because the size of the company is bigger. So a system like this has to basically embrace all their needs, which means, for example, AC Milan, 90 users, 100 users. With a small club, the goal that the club has is completely different, but still like an average deal of 20,000 euro per or a pound per year. But to be totally honest, now we are kind of trying to push down the pricing and democratizing the technology, because at business level, if you don't retain a big client, it's a problem. Instead, it's better to have 10 small clients than just one big. But we need to definitely target both, because big clients are about 50, probably 40 in the world. Like the small clients, they could be like up to 100,000. So it's definitely we pursued both strategy for sure. Also because the big client help us, of course, to create the traction in order to close more small deals.
Absolutely. My last one, but I'm very curious because I do believe football, for example, is a very old-fashioned way to do business. Actually, I believe today we are trying to bring sport as business, but still a big pleasure for the rich who buys the team and play somehow. Although today there are some even fund working in, try to make some profit. But did you find any strong barrier when did you start the very beginning, 2018, proposing the system to, I don't know, Intel?
Yeah, definitely. There was a big entrance barrier in football in general, because it's a very closed world. It's a kind of private club, as you mentioned before. And it's also a very old-fashioned world. So at the beginning, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, this was still something new, but at that time was something completely revolutionary. The football, the way that football operates in general. Because right now to do a transfer or like still like negotiation in fancy hotels and everything wrote on a napkin.
You had to create your metaverse with a beautiful tile and move on.
Yeah, but I would say also that right now things are changing. We have a lot of funds investing in football, trying to make things in a more sustainable and efficient way in order to make profits. And we have a lot of American owners buying clubs in Europe, and they're changing the culture. And I think this is a great thing for technology provider like us, because they like to monitor and let's say run the business in a data-driven approach.
Thank you, Marco. Please stay with us, because if we do not, we wait for any comments or questions. And after, anyway, I will ask you the last 30 seconds of your time to close
Sure.
this speech day. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Marco. Thank you so much. We have one question for Demi. Demi, can you come online, please? Okay, so let me show the question. How do you ensure that children are engaged, especially online, as they have a low concentration span?
Amazing question. Yes. So the interesting thing we did is we made our courses and lessons project and practical based. So for every lesson you're watching, there's a project you're actually doing. You're actually making something, creating a website, designing something. You're trying to achieve something at the end of the day. Yes. So our intention is also to gamify our platform way further, in order to put some little incentives to students as they learn, right? And lastly, what we did is we broke down our full course into mini courses. So for instance, a 1 hour course would be broken down into videos or lessons of 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. So yes, you're not taking everything at a stretch, right? You are picking them one after the order, and like it's catching your attention because you're actually working on something while you're learning.
Can I add when they use your platform, actually they are at school or are they home? And do they have any tutor close to them?
Yes, good question. Yes, so depending on the plan, subscription plan you choose, you can decide whether you want self-paced, right, either at school or at home, or you want an instructor with you, either online or a physical instructor with you there while learning. And yes, so for schools, some of them use it in their classrooms while they're at school, and then their teachers use the platform to give them take-home assignments or test or activities or projects, right, to work on while they're at home as well.
Thank you, Dami. We do not have any more questions or comments, so I want to close this pitch day. And again, we are online next Tuesday, any Tuesday, from 5 to 7 o'clock UK time. I will ask you to each of you, so starting from Akin. Akin, what's your message to investor? Why did she give you the money?
Give us all the money. So first and foremost, what we're solving at Winston Pay and Medicash is, the barrier to entry for health covers and wellness, because we believe that if you don't have a sane body, we don't have a healthy body, then there's really practically nothing you can do. We have an amazing team. One of our team members, Dr. Wale Adebodje, started the first premier health and maintenance organization called Multi-Shield, which then exited to, which was actually bought in 8 years from Nigeria's #1 insurance company group called ITERPRO Insurance. And he's very, very effective on our advisory board. And again, it's a $300 billion opportunity. Obviously, we are young, we are fresh, we're very aggressive in our approach. We're looking at in the next 18 to 24 months. We've onboarded over 250,000 service providers, looking to hit about $4 million quarterly. And the sky's the limit, really, is a starting point. And looking at in the next 24 months, we're scaled to over 3 emerging markets. So yeah, that's where we are, Winston Pay, and we believe that we're best positioned to fulfill this need. So yeah, thanks, guys.
Don't go away.
Yes.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
How does an investor exit from investing in your startup? Do you think can you IPO, or are you going to, for example, a private acquisition?
I mean, we're very open to I think at the end of the day, it really boils down to engagement. Right now, we're looking to sign safes with investors. But we believe that we're very flexible in our model and also our investment relations. I think at the end of the day, it really boils down to dialogue, right? How do we help with comfort, really and truly, and understanding also the investors' appetite, right, for risk. And again, I believe it just boils down to dialogue, really.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Let me wish you all the best. Really wish you all the best. Thank you so much. Demi, why investing in yourself and in your startup?
Yes, Max, why not, right? As far as traction, as Cooks, we've proven a product market fit with more than 2,000 customers while bootstrapping in the space of 11 months to 12 months, right? The potential for Cooks moving forward is phenomenal through to 2024. And our aim is to get to 5,000 schools, like I mentioned, which equates to exciting revenues, like you saw on my deck. And therefore, yeah, return on investment, which investors or stakeholders are always looking for, right? The priority for this round is to scale, right, to increase our reach and also to increase our traction, our revenue. We've already started on that, and we're looking at the opportunity to use this round to push us forward into raising our next round, VC round in 2024. Thank you.
What's your strategy? Don't go away. What's your strategy for your investors?
I didn't hear that.
your exit strategy for your investors? What should be?
Yes, that's a pretty interesting question. Yes, with the huge giants and the likes of Coursera or Outschool, we're looking at this possible buyout, right? In, let's say, 10, 20 years. We can't really say. But yes, it's interesting to see how large we can actually scale from an edtech standpoint, and also with the interesting fintech client, buy now, pay later happening, we're integrating. Yes, it's there are series of opportunities that can actually come our way. So I think we're quite flexible at this point.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you very much for being with us, and all the best. Marco.
Yes. So the reason why
investing, how exiting?
Yes, I say probably the reason why, as an investor, I would invest in ITERPRO myself is mainly two reasons. One is that we have a big margin in terms of improvement of the industry, and there's a big opportunity out there because it's a need that is not covered yet. So it's a big gap to be fulfilled in the industry, and there's a big wave of technology hitting the industry, and being an HubSpot, all those technology, they don't talk to each other. They're gonna need a place where to see all the data of the player, as every other industry did in the past with CRM and other kind of technology. So those are the main reason. And in terms of exit strategy, actually, we open to two main paths. One is an acquisition by a big group. Actually, already talking to a few of them, but try to hold back as much as possible because it's not time to sell yet. And in the other one is merging the company with one of those group and go for an IPO, because big group, they already have in their portfolio a lot of technology that can be plugged into ITERPRO. So we basically a system ready to scale. It's just that we need to, the money to do that. So as easy as that.
Thank you, Marco. I mean, I do believe founders has to have a very clear picture how to start running the business, scale the business, and make your business a success. But at the same time, when you go to venture capital, you need to put your feet in their shoes and let them know that you know really how to let them make money. So because if someone is giving to 1 million, they want at least 3-4 million back. So this is pretty much the proxy of multiples in venture capital. So always have in your mind how to accommodate your investors one day. So thank you very much. Unfortunately, we had some problems with Richard. We had some technical problems today, but we managed to arrive to the end also today. Thank you very much to all of you guys. You make the show, so I'm very happy having had you with us today. And we are online again next Tuesday from 5 to 7. We hope next time we have full 6 startups. Today has some problems with short to 4. But anyway, we had a very nice evening for me. For someone it's already night. For someone it's morning. And hope see you again next Tuesday from 5 to 7. And thank you again, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you to Equity Match team to make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Max.
Thanks,
And to
everyone.
the Equity Match team. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.